Hello, everybody, and welcome to the underwater level. Don't question why I'm in a maid dress, specifically a cow maid dress. Uh, if you're watching on YouTube right now, um, it was a subathon reward, and now I'm stuck with it. At least for another like 10 minutes. Uh, this is normal. Shut up. Okay, yeah. Okay. Anyway, welcome to the underwater level. Episode 10. We're in double digits now. Um, it's actually like the 1 year anniversary of doing this. So thank you everybody for indulging me on doing like a little silly little gaming news show almost every month. There's some months that I skipped. Um just for like different reasons that I had. But it's been a year since we've been doing this. Uh actually, was it it might have been a year a couple months ago. Oops. Um I'll have to look back and see like when I actually did start doing this. But we're in the double digits now, and there's like a few stories to talk about, but there's a lot of big stuff. Um, over the past month because I didn't do an episode for September. So we're doing one here in October. Because I was very busy in September doing all the subathon stuff and the September stuff on Twitch. Um, so anyway, let's begin with this this headline here that apparently Steven Spielberg wanted to do a Call of Duty movie, and he like pitches vision to Activision, but Activision got scared. Um, because Spielberg wanted full control over the film. So instead, they just sold the rights to Paramount. You're like, so why would you say no to Steven Spielberg wanting to make a movie based on your like most profitable franchise? Like, are you stupid? Like he could have made something like that, could appeal to like people who barely like play games at all. I mean, I don't really play Call of Duty at all. I've never like really played it, but I definitely would have gone to see a Call of Duty movie directed by Steven Spielberg. Like that seemed like a no-brainer, but they're not doing it. Yeah, set themselves up for failure. So now I guess Paramount's gonna be doing it, but we don't know like what the who the director is gonna be. I guess somebody that they might be more willing to be like, hey, do this instead of this. Don't have full control over it. Yeah, and Medal of Honor was like, yeah, inspired by Saving Private Ryan. So like, you're telling me the guy who did Saving Private Ryan wants to do a movie based on your video game franchise, and you don't want to make it? That's so weird. He's old. He's past his prime. He doesn't know what a Fairchild Channel F is. Wow. $5 is Michael Bay. But yeah, that's like that. This is one that I saw, and I'm like, what? That's dumb. All right. Next thing. Some news about the Lego Pokemon stuff. So apparently, some prices have leaked. Uh, from some of these sets that are gonna be coming out next year for Pokemon. Um, and it's very interesting for like how many pieces each one is as well. So the cheapest one here would be $60, which is like, okay, that's like about how much, the Lego Game Boy is that just came out. So it's one of the smaller sets. It's still big for like, um, for a Lego set, but like it's one of the smaller like special like sets that they release. Um, 587 pieces. That's about right because it's usually about like it's like 100. Usually like $10 per 100 pieces is how I usually measure Lego, and that's about right. Um, and then 250 pieces for the next one up, and that was $200. We don't know what that one's gonna be. Um, and this was the really interesting one because apparently it is going to be one of the most expensive Lego sets, like in that has been produced. Is something that is 600 No, 6,838 pieces, and that is going to be $650. Um, which a lot of people are saying like, "Oh yeah, that's way too expensive," but like, that's pretty typical for like a Lego set that big. That is a huge Lego set. Um, we have no idea what that's going to be. Uh, we'll just have to wait until like more information comes out. We probably won't know what these are until like maybe like a couple months beforehand. We might know in December or something. Maybe a giant Charizard. That'd be crazy. If that'd be a huge Charizard. But yeah, yeah, people are like really curious about what they could do. Somebody in the comments here is like, yeah, the Mario Kart set is 170, and that's a pretty big set. Um, something that's $650 and that many pieces. I gotta wonder, like somebody's guessing like a life size Pikachu, but then again, I don't think a life size Pikachu would be that big, would it? How tall is like the official like height of Pikachu? Um, because if it is a life size Pikachu, that might actually be pretty big. For like how much is the Bowser? The Bowser set's like 250, or I think it's usually 300, but it's been marked down to 250 a lot. Um, but yeah, the Bowser set is typically 300, I think, or it might be less than that. 1 foot 4 inches. Okay, that's interesting because yeah, the Mario Kart set that's like about a foot long. So yeah, I there's no telling what this is gonna be. It's got to be something popular if they're gonna make something that big. So yeah, either it's like a really big Pikachu or a really big Charizard. Pikachu would be funny if 4,000 of those were standard yellow bricks. Yeah, life size Cynthia. Wow, the Reggie's life size for $650. Yeah, but yeah, we'll find out next year or sometime later this year. Because they're supposed to be coming out yeah, for insiders on Pokemon Day, and then March 1st for the general release. So we might find out like early next year or like later, like maybe in December sometime this year. Another Pokemon thing that came out. This is just from PlayAsia, so it hasn't released in the US. But I thought this was very interesting. It's a little Pokemon LCD toy. Um that has like a Pokemon inside of it. It's sort of like a Tamagotchi thing, but you can like pet the Pokeball. Um but yeah, it's like $55 for this thing. Um yeah, LCD toy that reacts cutely to your petting. Yeah. I actually did have like a pocket Pikachu back in the day. That's kind of like a Tamagotchi. Um, so I just thought this was kind of neat. Uh, then moving on to some other like, what happens if I pet it aggressively? I don't know. Maybe it shocks you. Tamagotchi? Yeah. Then moving on here, I linked this from a Game Freight here. Is that a lot of people have been talking about speaking about Pokemon. A lot of people are talking about the Pokemon company's patent or the Nintendo patent on summoning, and it's not exactly what people think it is. Um, and this article goes into it like really, really in depth. There's like so much they talk about and about like games like back on the Atari and everything. About certain video game mechanics like being patented. Um, it goes over like what they're doing here. Um, and it's a lot more complicated than people make it out to be. Uh, but also a lot more simple, which is kind of funny. Um, but here's the TLDR from the OP here. Says Nintendo was granted a ridiculously broad patent by a patent examiner who examined exactly 0 games before actually granting the patent. Um, basically taking everything said at face value, Nintendo also misrepresented the state of video games in their application, falsely claiming that the implementation of their summoning system is somehow novel. It says the author also rips into The Verge much more than the title implies. Um, Sorry as it's upset or offended you. I found it an interesting read and do not claim to understand the patent law. As it was pointed out to me, the author is not an unbiased or an extra source. I acknowledge that. Please don't any continued insults. It's just a Reddit post, not really worth going feral over. So I also like this one reply here saying that apparently invalid patents like this are granted all the time. So this patent might never like come to be or like might never be used. Um because apparently there have been patents granted like the wheel, literally the wheel, literally the first invention of mankind. Like you can't patent that. It's just invalid. Swinging on a swing, like literally just swinging on a swing, or like scanning an email, or scanning to email. Big wheel from Spider-Man, yeah. So yeah, but yeah, somebody says here is also it doesn't matter if it's invalid. Somebody has to take Nintendo to court to prove it's invalid. Um, so it'll be interesting. I don't know exactly what's going to happen with like this patent, but it's like it's not exactly what like people are saying. They're saying like, oh, no more games can like use summoning monsters as a thing. But no, I don't think that's really what's going to happen. Oh yeah, the wheel came after language, fire, and civilization. Yeah, yeah, it's one of the first. I wouldn't say we invented fire. We just discovered it. Wheel seems more like an invention because like that you have to actually make it. But yeah, I thought that was interesting. This whole article here is from Games Fray. If anything, nature should patent fire. Yeah. Also, I'm free from the uniform now, so I can be normal throughout the rest of the podcast. I'm sorry for those that enjoyed the maid dress. I'll put my glasses on though, since we are doing like reading. Become naked. Yeah. Okay. So here, this is a recent thing. This was like literally either like today or yesterday, I think. Um, about Nintendo is lobbying the Japanese government to push back against generative AI. And we were talking about this a little bit before the podcast when we were streaming. Um, about how um once I saw like because I literally just, like saw the stuff like yesterday or a couple days ago. I literally saw the stuff yesterday about the new Sora AI, not Sora from Kingdom Hearts, but the new Sora AI apparently using being flooded with a bunch of Nintendo characters, like doing some crazy stuff, and Nintendo like it's literally just like the woke like emote, like they like woke up and they're like, oh holy shit, we got to do something about this. Um, so yeah, the Pikachu and Saving Private Ryan, I did see that. Um, so if anything, it's very funny to me that like people in the comments and like I've seen like people saying that oh I don't want Nintendo to win. I just want generative AI to lose. Um, surprising Square doesn't say anything. Yeah. Um, I know that like you know like we also talked about before the podcast started about Studio Ghibli and like how they're very upset. Um, and with Nintendo, yeah, they've gone over about their stance on like using generative AI in games. And a lot of people like tend to mistake artificial intelligence with all kinds of artificial intelligence. There's general artificial intelligence, and then there's generative artificial intelligence. And generative AI is much dumber than than it seems. Um, like generative AI takes basically takes the content, whether it's like writing, drawings, video, whatever it is. It takes that video, writing, images, or whatever it is, and then tries to like puts it all in like a blender, and then it makes it come out as something really weird, and sometimes recognizable. Um, and we've been seeing it a lot with Google AI, especially where Google AI searches are so fucking bad. Um, they it gets things wrong all the time. There's like I don't know why anybody would use it. Um, yeah, we call them hallucinations. Um, yeah, AI was a term to describe a computer player, and that's like actual artificial intelligence. Um, but generative AI, like, yeah, it's. I just really want this like bubble to like burst so we can like stop using it in like everything, or in that tech companies stop pushing it on people. Because remember when like even NFTs were a thing? Um, and there's so many companies that were like trying to push NFTs. Um, like a lot of the gaming companies were like trying to push them too. Um, but we don't really see that anymore. They're not pushing them. Yeah, no fucking thanks. Um, so I'm hoping that like soon, hopefully soon, maybe sometime next year, we will stop seeing that the push for generative AI. Because like it seems like it's reached its point of where it can't really get any better, I don't think. Because like there's a point where you've consumed so much of what is out there on the internet. Um, it's probably consumed as much as it can, and it still spits out shit. Um, like, and this is yeah, it's definitely trying to safeguard the IP of Nintendo and other companies. Warner Brothers is another one that's like trying to go after these companies for like for generative AI. It's so weird because like Warner Brothers, we've had like a lot of like problems with them in recent years. Um, but like man, if anything can like destroy generative AI, it's going to be these companies being like upset that their IP is being used in like nefarious ways and all that. Instead of Chat GPT, use Control F. Yeah, that reminds me. That reminds me. I've seen some YouTubers. I'm not gonna name names. It's usually like some like random ones that I see. Um, Either they'll use generative AI thumbnails, or they will make a I've seen a lot of Pokemon card YouTubers specifically, and it makes me fucking furious. Um, I've seen a lot of Pokemon card YouTubers make like a random post about like Pokemon cards, and I'll read through it, and I'm like, wait a minute, this was made with Chat GPT because like so much of this information is just flat out wrong. Like it'll talk about cards from like different sets in Pokemon, and none of those Pokemon are in those sets. And I'm like, oh, did you just like put like make like, hey, make a post for YouTube about like Pokemon cards, and then they just post it, and I'm like, wow, are you that fucking lazy? Sorry, I'm getting heated. um, but yeah, yeah, Disney's got a lawsuit with Midjourney too. Think I know who you're referring to? Do you? I mean, the one I'm talking about is like a pretty small channel too. But there's some like other ones that I might not be aware of. Some of them that I just like unsubscribed to. Sometimes you use Quillbot as a detective something's written in AI, yeah. But anyway, um, yeah. I just hope that the generative AI like bubble like pops soon. because it is, like, literally and shitifying the entire internet. Alright. But yeah, here's the, like, the whole article, from Twisted Voxel about, like, Nintendo going after generative AI. Real soon, a crash and burn like NFT, yeah. Alright, next thing, also Nintendo news. Um, the, yeah, NOA announced that Doug Bowser apparently is going to be stepping down. He'll be stepping down later this year, basically after the year's over. And he's gonna be succeeded by Devin Pritchard, who has actually been with the company for a long time. Um, Devin Pritchard, she's been, with Nintendo, I think, since the early 2000s? I know at least, since the Wii era. Uh, Correct me if I'm wrong, but I think she's been in the company for a while. Um, but yeah, she's gonna be the new CEO of Nintendo of America. Um, it's kinda crazy that the first CEO of NOA, was there for, like, 22 years. Um, then Kimishima was there for a few years, and then, Reggie, yeah, the one that, everybody likes. Everybody likes Reggie. Um, was there for the second longest, and then Doug Bowser was there from 2019 to now. Yeah, no more fitting last name. So don't trust anyone with a student diploma said I'm smart. Yeah, Mr. Bowser is no longer in charge of Bowser. Yeah, I still like that photo of him with Mario and and Luigi like tied up in the background because little joke of him being Bowser because he wanted to leave after the success of the Switch 2. Yeah, it's very interesting because like Reggie did the exact same thing with after the success of the Switch. He's like, okay, I'm done. Um, though it was like a couple years because it was in 2019 when he left. Yeah, he went with it. He definitely wasn't like at the forefront like right like Reggie was a lot of the time. I don't know if Devin Pritchard will be in the forefront like some of the other CEOs. Reggie was definitely the CEO of NOA that was like at the forefront the most. That we heard about him the most. He was definitely like, in the directs and everything. Doug Bowser has been in a few directs, but not nearly as much as how Reggie was. We mainly see like Koizumi a lot more. We see Miyamoto talking about like the movies and all the of other stuff that he's done with like Pikmin and all that. Um, and we see Furukawa. Um, but yeah, we haven't really seen much of Bowser. Reggie wants to see the president. Oh yeah, not CEO. Yeah, I don't know what I was talking about. I mean, president of Nintendo of America. I don't know why I was saying CEO. Um, I meant to say president. Yeah, yeah, the president of NOA. Yeah, went to Doug Bowser, and now it's Devin Pritchard. Yeah, why did I say CEO? Was that said here? Oh yeah, yeah, and COO. That's right. Yeah, not CEO. President is what I meant. But yeah, Devin Pritchard is going to be taking Doug Bowser's place at the end of this year. So we'll see what happens with that. We might have like a fun little direct thing in February, maybe. Because I know that happened when Bowser took over. Something else. This was surprising because this happened like after the direct. Last month. There's like a random new Fire Emblem game that dropped on mobile called Fire Emblem Shadows. Yeah, literally Fire Emblem Shadow Drop. Literally. Um, but yeah, it says real time strategy meets social deduction. So, very interesting. Hey, look, it's a bear. Um, I haven't really played much of Fire Emblem Heroes. I played it a little bit, like when it first came out. So it's neat that they're doing like another Fire Emblem mobile game. Um, and I'm surprised they didn't talk about this one in the direct. This is like just one of the random things they released afterwards. So that's interesting. I am probably not gonna play it because I don't really play a lot of the Nintendo mobile games other than TCG Pocket, which is like from the Pokemon Company. But nice for Fire Emblem fans. But yeah, here's a launch trailer if we want to take a look at it. All right, let me get my things here. Because yeah, I haven't actually seen the launch trailer, so let's take a look at it. All right.
A new battle begins.
Was it Heroes of Gotcha? Yeah,
Light
pretty much.
illuminates shadow. Shadow obscures the light. I must choose between them. Trust no one. Who is the traitor? You? No, I'm the one.
Just a few minutes to decide. Real-time strategy meets social deduction. Choose light or shadow. Then take on fast-paced, real-time battles with 2 light disciples and 1 shadow disciple. But it's more than simple combat. The shadow disciple is secretly a traitor. Will you fight for the light?
They're a
and
werewolf.
root out the traitor? Or undermine the light as an agent of shadow? Your actions will influence each battle. And when everyone's true nature is revealed, the real battle begins.
I'll make my choice, even if it means betraying everything.
Discover or deceive. The battle begins once you decide. Real-time tactics and treachery. Fire Emblem Shadows. Available now.
Yeah, so interesting. I probably won't play it, but it's definitely gonna be fun for like Fire Emblem fans. Apparently, oh, that's probably just my 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 browser right now for why that looks like that. I have like too many tabs open. All right, so not Fire Emblem related, Final Fantasy related. Only Final Fantasy thing I have related here. Um, so apparently there's gonna be some new Final Fantasy Magic products coming out later this year in December. Um, there's going to be a new Chocobo bundle which comes with a bunch of play boosters. Yeah, it's gonna come with 10 booster packs. 1 alt art promo card, 1 scene card, and 32 basic land cards, and 1 click wheel. I don't know what that is. But yeah, this coming out later this year. There's gonna be a new version of the commander deck for Final Fantasy VII that actually comes with comes with the game. Um, so I don't know like what system it's for. It's probably just a Steam code, so you could like get a Steam version of Final Fantasy VII with this commander deck. Um, then these scene boxes. Um, I definitely want to get these. The scene boxes are really cool. So basically, Magic Gathering Final Fantasy collab, a one-off thing will be ongoing. Well, I'm surprised they're making more. Um, this is probably just for this year though, like, for this set specifically. Because usually like all the other collabs have been like one-off things. Um, but they're probably gonna be printing a lot more of this because like it's their most popular set they've released. Um, but I like that with the scene boxes, they're focusing on some of the other games that weren't in the commander decks because the commander decks had 6, 7, um, 10, and 14 like as their focuses. For the scene boxes, we have focuses on 1, which is interesting. It says Garland at the Chaos Shrine. Um, we have 8, which is pretty cool to see. 9 with a scene box.
There is
The
no
Siege of
Easter Bunny,
Alexandria.
there is no Tooth Fairy, and there is no Final Fantasy IX Remake.
Yeah, it's funny because like this is another 9 thing we're getting. And this is like a really cool scene within 9. Um, and then a scene box for 15. So yeah, I'm liking that they're for the scene boxes, they're they're doing like different focusing on like some different games. I don't know if they'll do any more like product releases after these, but I'm glad they're doing these scene boxes because I was wondering why the Lord of the Rings. I think Lord of the Rings has like some scene boxes, and Spider-Man, which just came out, the Spider-Man collaboration that they're doing, that has scene boxes already. So I was wondering, like, well, why didn't Final Fantasy get any scene boxes? Um, so yeah, here's my answer. I guess they were just like waiting to like release some. But yeah, this has like new art for these scene boxes, and then each of these scene boxes contain three extra booster packs with the 6 cards that make this scene. And apparently you can put it like on a display for that scene. But yeah, I definitely want to get those at some point. I know that like the commander decks have gone down in price a lot because like they're gonna be making a lot of this set. Um, Blue Scale, hello. But yeah, I'm excited to get some of this at some point. I still haven't gotten any more of the Final Fantasy Magic boosters. I might try to get some for Christmas. All right, now let's talk about the direct. So there's a lot of things that were shown in the direct, but the main thing they did first was, of course, the Super Mario like 40th anniversary stuff. Also, think of it to hydrate. So we'll go over that first. So there's a thing about the museum doing a thing for the 40th anniversary. Watching Nintendo Direct. Well, I'm doing my podcast, and we're going over the news and stuff. And one of the things we didn't do was the uh go over the direct, which we're doing now. All right, the newer characters. There's rumors that Bowser Jr. and Wario are going to be in it. We don't know anything about that. We don't know anything about uh who's going to be voicing Rosalina. Um, we'll probably find out when there's going to be a trailer, which maybe we'll have like, a special direct for a trailer cuz like we've had those before back in 2022 when before the movie came out. And then yeah, Chris Meledandri here talking about it. Chris Man- it's still so funny to see that. Um but yeah, and then yeah, we know what Yoshi's gonna look like because of the Old Spice leaks. And then they announced Super Mario Galaxy 1 and 2, which literally just came out as I'm recording this. It came out like yesterday. Or not yesterday, but like 2 days ago. Um, it came out on October 3rd. Um, and apparently they did a lot more work to the games than people expected. Um, as far as like the texture work and everything of like seeing the comparisons between the Wii versions and the and this version, even between like the 3D All Stars version and this version of Galaxy One. Um, but yeah, unfortunately, it is like $70. If you want them individually, digitally, that is, it'd be $40 each. I'm most likely going to wait just because I have just like recently played these games. Um, and probably gonna wait until the Mario Galaxy movie comes out and then I'll get the games. Um, one of those don't judge a book by its cover thing. Yeah. But yeah, I'm excited to play them again, but like I said, probably gonna wait. Since I did play them a couple years ago before um the Mario Brothers movie came out. Um, and I'm probably just gonna get them when the Mario Galaxy movie comes out and then replay them then. Um, but yeah, apparently there's like some added stuff in Rosalina's storybook. Uh, and there's gonna be like a couple of these amiibo. Which something very interesting about amiibo specifically. Um, apparently amiibo are not selling because I've noticed that a lot of amiibo are going on sale. Like I saw that like the Street Fighter amiibo like on Amazon and stuff, they like marked those down like half price because the Street Fighter amiibo like went up in price because of the tariffs and everything. Apparently, since they hadn't been selling, they're like, we gotta get rid of these. So they marked them at half price. Um, so if you are an amiibo collector, and I am an amiibo collector as well, um, like check your stores because they're probably gonna be like marked down at some point because they take up so much space. Like they take up so much shelf space that like if they're not moving, they're gonna mark them down. Um, but this comes out in next year though, the Mario Galaxy amiibo. I just thought I'd mention that because like I've seen some amiibo like go down in price recently. But yeah, they talk more about here. And then they announced. Oh yeah, I forgot they announced Mario Tennis. Yeah, new Mario Tennis game. Mario Tennis Fever. And the cool thing about this game that I thought was interesting is that they're going to be doing an adventure mode, which looks pretty neat, where you start out as babies. Yeah, with the talking flower commentary. They really love that talking flower. I was so hurt because I thought it was a new Sluggers. Yeah, eventually we'll get a new baseball game. Yeah, the Mario Sports games on Switch were very underwhelming. Hopefully this one's has a better reception. They announced the Switch 2 edition of Mario Brothers Wonder, which I had a feeling they would probably do a Switch 2 edition of Wonder just because like it was so near the end of the Switch 1's life. Though it's very like multiplayer focused, which is a little disappointing. But yeah. But there's some like other new levels and stuff. And then they announced that they're gonna be having a talking flower. Okay. Not even an amiibo, it's just like, oh, it's just a talking flower. They really love that talking flower. Yeah. Does it curse? Yeah, and then oh yeah, I forgot how much they did with the Mario stuff. Yeah, a new Yoshi game. Which I do really like the style they're going with here with the Yoshi game. It is another 2D game. But it seems like it's very focused on like exploration and like finding out what different like enemies and stuff can do. So when was this coming out? Yeah, spring next year. See, was that the last Mario thing? I think so. Yeah, that was the last Mario thing. Another Yoshi game. Yeah, how many games Waluigi has? That's not a spinoff. Yeah. I'll go through here of some of the things that I thought were interesting. Dinkum. Well, I've seen a lot of ads for this game, like after this direct came out. This thing that looks very much like a type of Splatoon game. um, we had more info on Tomodachi Life, which I'm excited to play. I'm excited to play this on stream. It'll be so fun. You know, if Waluigi had his own game, virtual pinball with a story, that'd be neat, actually. When's the last time, like, Nintendo's done their own, like, um, dedicated pinball game? I think that'd be fun. But yeah, it's supposed to be spring. Did they say spring? I can't remember if they said spring. Yeah, they said spring next year. So no, like, yeah, Pokemon pinball. No, Pokemon. They haven't had Pokemon pinball since the advance. Info on Mortal Kombat here, which I'm actually very interested in this, just because it's like a documentary collection. Um, the Tetris Forever like collection of Tetris games was so cool. Uh, like seeing the story of Tetris and how Tetris evolved over the decades. Um, I think this would be really fun to go over because it's gonna have like the different interviews and stuff about like the history of Mortal Kombat. So, and then we finally get a release date for Final Fantasy VII Remake Integrate. Hey, one of the songs is playing right now for those of you that are watching stream. Specifically the the Yuffie theme. But yeah, I'm excited to play Remake Integrate on my Switch in bed. Um, but yeah, with Remake Integrate, so it's coming out in January. The very surprising thing about this is that it's only going to be $40. It's not going to be full price. Um, and that's both for the digital and the physical version. Um, for the physical version is going to be a game key card, unfortunately. But you know what else about the physical version is pretty cool? The physical version, like also if you pre-order it, you actually get the original game too, which is another thing they've been doing about like trying to get people to play the original game. So that's really neat. Um, and another thing, the physical version comes with a pack of the Final Fantasy Magic cards. So I'm like, oh, well, I guess I'm gonna get like a physical version. That's gonna get me to buy a game key card for the first time. But yeah, and it's cheaper, so like it's actually cheaper, in fact, to buy the physical version than it is to buy the digital deluxe version. The digital deluxe version is actually 60, with all the like extra like materia or the extra summon materia that like it gives you in the beginning. Um, that you can only get with the digital deluxe edition. If you buy the physical edition, you already get that stuff. So you actually the physical edition is actually cheaper than the digital deluxe edition. So I would recommend probably just buying like the physical edition of this game. So yeah, and you get a pack of magic cards with it, which is really interesting that they're doing that. This was like the biggest shock out of this direct is that Square Enix has the best deal out of any of the games announced here. That is so shocking. But yeah, very excited about playing Remake Integrate on my Switch too. I've already played it before, but I want to play it again. Hades 2, which has recently just come out. They did a little animation here about the game. But yeah, it just came out. And then new amiibo figures. Again, these are also this is another one of the things that were that was kind of sticker shock afterwards. These amiibo, $50 each. It's so much. But I have been recently seeing like a lot of places like taking pre-orders for 40 instead. So these are more that I think are gonna be like just like staying on shelves for a while because they're so expensive. But yeah, a lot of people saying we're like, oh yeah, this was like Swap Force from like Skylanders. But yeah, apparently there's gonna be more. There's gonna be more $50 amiibo, which is crazy. Then we had more info about uh I wanted to say Tears of the Kingdom, but no, it's Age of Imprisonment. We gotta play as the Korok. Um, but yeah, this should be a lot of fun. I'm excited to play Age of Imprisonment, and we got a release date, which is gonna be November 6th. I don't know if I'll wait to like play Age of Imprisonment. I might wait for a little bit, but because like I'm kind of trying to like pick and choose until the end of the year because like I am gonna try to go to a convention soon. Um, I'm definitely getting Pokemon Legends EA though. Um, then we had a announcement of a remake. Uh, and I guessed it right when we were like watching it. Um, but yeah, this is a remake of Dragon Quest VII. So they've remade 3, 1, and 2, and now they're doing 7. Though this isn't in the HD 2D style because this was a PS1 game. Um, so it's very interesting. I think they're gonna like they're gonna try to like get all the Dragon Quests like made for like modern consoles. Which convention? Oh, I'm gonna try to go to Ponyville Cider Fest in Milwaukee next month. Yeah, I still haven't played Dragon Quest. I would like to try one day. I do have 11. So I'll probably try that. All right, and then this was another shocker. They're they're bringing Virtual Boy to Nintendo Switch Online to the Nintendo Classics. Uh, so yeah, what's really weird about this thing is that uh, it's said that you need this or the cardboard version to play the games. I don't know why you couldn't just play them 2D. We won't really know until um until these actually are released next year. Until Virtual Boy and until the Virtual Boy comes to NSO next year. We won't actually know. Um cuz I would like to just play the games in 2D. Like just on my Switch so that way I could capture them and actually play uh on stream with you guys. And also this is going to be like in February when I plan to do my next like bitathon. Um so we'll see. Yeah, and get a migraine. What should do for NSO? Pokemon? Nah. The Wii? Nah. More GameCube games? Nah. Virtual Boy? That's the greatest idea. Yeah. And also, this thing is $100. I might still try to get one at some point. I still don't have like the official N64 controller. I have like a third party one that I used like earlier this year. I don't have an official one yet. Um or like any of the official controllers at the moment. So, I don't have no idea when I would get this. Um but yeah. Yeah, and here's the cardboard version. Relive the AVGN episode and duct tape it to our heads, yeah. $100 is too low, needs to be 500, yeah. That's if you want a real Virtual Boy. Yeah, man. If you want to get, like, a real Virtual Boy, it's gonna be a lot of money. I do wanna get a real one eventually, since I do collect, like, retro games. Yeah, but does it have Waterworld? Yeah. Oh, actually, there was a slide here of, like, all the different games that they would have. Where was it? Explains why they kept the VR feature in Breath of the Wild Switch 2 edition. Oh, yeah. Okay, yeah, here we go. Yeah, Jack Bros, yeah, which is one of the most expensive, Virtual Boy games. So, it's nice that they're putting this here. It's like, "Oh, yeah," so you can actually play it, like, you know, without, like, spending that much money. Yeah, like, how expensive is Jack Bros? It's, like, a lot. Um, is it the most expensive one? Or am I thinking of a different one? Um, but yeah, 3D Tetris, Mario Clash, like, all these the Japanese ones too. I forgot what this game is. It's also the first Shin Megami Tensei game to release in the US. Oh my god, yeah. Like, Jack Bros upping the prices, wow. But yeah, and then Fatal Frame! Fatal Frame 2 is getting a remake, and coming to the Switch too. Which I never played. I also never played a Fatal Frame game. But I know the combat's very interesting with the camera and stuff. Then there's One Piece Warriors, Pirate Warriors, Overcooked, Stardew Valley with 4 split. Yeah, Stardew Valley Switch 2 edition with a 4-player. It would fall flat. Oh yeah, Power Wash Simulator 2. I actually do want to play this because Power Wash Simulator was like one of my like Zen games that I would just like play and then like listen to like YouTube videos and whatever, like late at night. But I would probably get that on PC though. Oh yeah, this was a big one. I forgot. I forgot that they announced this. Um, Suika Game Planet. You know we're gonna be streaming this when it comes out. Because I played so much Suika Game in my early days of being, you know, a Dolphin Dragon VTuber. It was like literally the month after I debuted is when I like got obsessed with playing this game. Um, back in 2023. So I'm excited to play this. No, I do not mean fish. But yeah, available this winter. We don't know when, so no solid release date for Suika Game Planet. Uh, and here we go. Here we go. Here we go. I knew like when I was like, I know what it is. Like, because like no other like game has such weird like environment designs. Um, Metroid Prime 4, and Samus has got a bike. And it's so weird seeing the discourse on the Metroid like spaces I've seen. Some people hate this, and it kind of baffles me. Um, I'm just excited to like finally get something, and we're finally get something new with what we've seen of Metroid Prime 4. It does like kind of fix the question of how are we gonna do like Shine Spark, for example? Like, how are we gonna do that in first person? There's your answer. You use a bike. um, but yeah, I'm so excited for Metroid Prime 4. You guys are gonna see me 100% it on stream. Yeah, and JMonty definitely called it. December release date coming out December 4th. I'm super excited for this game. Um, I don't know if it'll be my game of the year. Um, it might be just because it's Metroid. uh, but we'll see. Then like Amiibo, which are also expensive. Um, then this here, apparently there was some Doggy Bonanza DLC that came out. I haven't got it. I might at some point. I don't know if they they would, like, add this into, like, the NSO, like, stuff. Uh, might be a while until they do. Yeah, $20 for this. Though I've heard that it's, like, um I've heard it's pretty good, but I'll probably get it much later when I, decide to go back and, like, 100% DK, because I'm kinda done with the game now. But I haven't, like, 100%ed it yet. Yeah, Bonanza DLC, but no Mario Kart World DLC. Which oh yeah, that's another thing. I didn't put it on the notes, but Mario Kart World did get an update to where it's um much easier to track on the map where you have gotten found P switches and Peach medallions, which that is like the main thing people were complaining about with the open world, is that there was no way to like track all the stuff that you got. But now there is. But yeah. Um and also there's a demo now, because you don't have the game yet. Now this one was weird. This is a Pokopia, which is a new Pokemon game, a new Pokemon spinoff, focused around a Ditto. And it's kind of weird how this is a Ditto that's just randomly here, and it's also a Pokedex that looks like it's really old. Uh, so this has me questioning: are humans like gone? Are humans like gone forever? I wonder if that's like a like is this like an old Pokemon Center? It's like post apocalyptic, but be very weird. But yeah, Pokopia, which is kind of like Pokemon Minecraft ish, though I would probably say it's more like a Dragon Quest Builders a bit more. Um, from the at least from the gameplay I've seen of Dragon Quest Builders, it seems more like that.
Hey,
Um,
Stinky!
a perfect world full of Pokemon and no stinky humans in sight. Yeah, but it'll be interesting. For a minute, I thought it was like, oh, it's only gonna be Gen 1 Pokemon, but like, oh no, we have some others. Yeah, because I saw Combee and Drillbur there. And there's gonna be even more. Um, so it'll be an interesting game. Sometime next year. But yeah, it was a Koei Tecmo game, which is very interesting. It ain't Pokemon Mystery Dungeon, but I'll take what I can get. Yeah. All right, and then we got more stuff for Pokemon Legends EA, which is coming out like literally in a couple weeks. And we saw the new yeah, new Mega Evolutions for the Gen 6 starters, which we only really had Mega Deontay from Gen 6. Uh the generation where Megas were introduced. But now finally the Gen 6 starters gets their own Mega Evolutions. No Dittos here in chat, isn't that right, fellow humanoids? But yeah, and then we get a announcement of like, oh yeah, we're gonna do Mega Dimension, which is a new DLC, which people got real mad at. Which it's not gonna be out yet. It's gonna be like out sometime next year. Um, and then Danganronpa 2 remake. I don't know anything about Danganronpa, but I know people were like excited about this. Then more Dynasty Warriors. This is like the third Warriors game that is in this direct. Yeah, Dynasty Warriors Origins. Then some more More trailers for Monster Hunter Stories 3. I still need to play Monster Hunter Stories. Or one of the games. Then 2 Point Museum. Was this the one? I think this was the this was the sizzle reel. Yeah, Dragon Quest 1 and 2 2D remake. Yeah, I'll play the Dragon Quest games at some point. Some point in my life. Yeah, that's right. Persona 3 Reload also coming out on the Switch too. Yeah, and then we got Resident Evil 9 from to be coming to Switch too. So that's really cool that Resident Evil 9 is going to be launching same day as like the other versions as well. This is like the first like very big game that's going to be launching the same day. Um but they're also putting out 7 and 8. So they're putting out Biohazard and Village as well on the same day. Yeah, I'm hoping that like sometime next year they will like release native versions of Kingdom Hearts. Um since they're putting out 7 remake. And then the last thing, which I keep forgetting, that they ended on Fire Emblem. But yeah, the next Fire Emblem game is what they ended on. Which looks pretty cool. I still haven't played a lot of Fire Emblem games. I've only played like, the GBA one and Awakening. Yeah, people got mad at this too. And I don't know the context because I haven't played Three Houses, but apparently, yeah, this is like Three Houses related with this character here. So it's continuing that funny meme of like like 5 more years of Three Houses discourse. Her name is Sothis, yeah. Yeah, this will be next year for New Fire Emblem. So yeah, and that was the direct. Then the not exactly the next week, but I think the week after, we got the State of Play. So the State of Play IMO was a lot more underwhelming than Direct. Direct at least had like some stuff that I was like excited about. Um and I don't know if it's just because like I'm more of a Nintendo fan than I am like a PlayStation fan. Um but Sorrows it's cool. Like I haven't played Returnal yet. I do want to play Returnal. Um but this game does look neat. I believe they did give us a release date. Um yeah, March 20th for Sorrows. Then Zero Parades, which looks like is it from the Disco Elysium people, or is it just like people that kind of look like they made Disco Elysium? Um I can't remember if that was said. That was also next year. Um Microsoft Flight Simulator 2024. That's that was another like announcement here. Planes. It's a beluga. But yeah, that coming to the PlayStation. Battlefield 6. This was oh, at least this one has a nice like chapters in here. Battlefield 6 coming out October. Or like what did it say? Yeah. Yeah, next week. Um but yeah, so listen to what they say here. Hold on, let me pause my music on stream real quick while we listen to what they say.
October 10th on PS5.
Now, let's celebrate one of my favorite games of all time, which is marking its 25th anniversary this year.
When I tell you my heart stopped when he said that, and we didn't see Final Fantasy 9, man. Yeah, I'm like,
You want a Final
oh.
Fantasy IX remake? Well, fuck you. Here is Deus Ex.
And the thing is, like, I'm not even like mad that like, oh yeah, Deus Ex. That's a game I really need to play at some point because I know it's like one of the most like important like PC games. Um, but like, yeah, man, when he said 25th anniversary, I was like, you mean like how Final Fantasy IX is having its 25th anniversary this year? But yeah, yeah, what a tease! What a tease! But even this is getting like some controversy with how the new graphics look compared to the old. Then we got Halloween, another like um what's it called? Asymmetric multiplayer game. That's what it is. Yeah, we play Michael Myers and the other people are the survivors. Last Epoch, which apparently was like a thing that's been around. Um, they're having their first expansion on on PS5. Seven Deadly Sins. Then Sonic Racing Cross Worlds, yay! Which they're showing Mega Man and Proto Man here. I'll probably play this at some point. Probably like way down the line though. Um, then more footage of Neo 3, which I haven't played, but I know Neo definitely has its fans. I believe we got a release date too, right? Yeah, February 6th. Then more Warriors games. Could escape them from the direct. They're here too. Dynasty Warriors Remastered. Um, yeah, still making PS4 games in 2025. Wait, did it say it was for PS4 too? Or was that you're talking about DSX? Um, and then Code Vein 2, which this was announced at uh the Game Awards. No, not the Game Awards. Summer Game Fest. That's where what it was announced at. Oh, Crossworlds. Oh yeah, that's right. Yeah, Code Vein 2. Then this was also kind of a tease because they introduced like Final Fantasy Tactics. Which don't get me wrong, I'm excited to play this game for the first time. But they kind of lingered on it, and I'm like, oh yeah, yeah, we know the game's coming out. Literally, like when this state of play came out, it was like only a few days away from release. Um, but yeah, I guess it's just their last like thing. Like, hey, go buy the game, which it has been getting a lot of great reviews and everything. So I'm very glad for that, and that people are like trying out Final Fantasy Tactics, which I will eventually as well. But yeah, oh yeah, that's also being coming out of PS4. Then this wait, what's this called again? Oh yeah, Let It Die. Yeah, that game. I forgot this was like shown here. Chronoscript, which actually looked pretty cool. Like some pretty cool art and like going through like different books and stuff. This looks this looks really cool. Like going through the ink and everything. So I think it's a very interesting game. I'll probably like put it in my wish list or something. And it seems like it's like a Metroidvania, so yeah. Chronoscript: The Endless End. Yeah, from the Lorax. And Crimson Desert, which I know has, like, been a thing. Out in March on the PS5. Yeah, little shrivel up and die. Then they had, like, a thing advertising new hardware with wireless speakers. Like, okay, I guess. Then, updates to, monthly games. Alan Wake 2, Cocoon, Ghost Simulator, 3. Which, cool, I guess I don't have to, buy those games. This was another thing, like, that people got mad at, too. They're like, "Why are they telling us about this? Are you remastering it again?" But it's like, "No, it's just coming to, PlayStation Plus, Extra." Um, then some of the stuff, like, older games, like, coming to the service. Then, Gran Turismo 7. Okay. I sounded really pissed off in the initial reaction. Yeah, I did. Yeah, Gran Turismo 7, Spec 3, Cars. I mean, if you like Gran Turismo, sure. Though I've heard a lot of, like, different weird things about that game and how it, like, monetizes things. And then, this is another thing, that's kinda weird, because it is, like, the 20th anniversary of God of War. Yet all they're doing is a controller? Because there had been rumors that they were going to be making, like, a 2D Metrovania God of War, which would have been cool. If they did a collection, it would be cool, because, like, there are some God of War games that you still can't play natively on the PS5. Like, why aren't you doing a collection, for the 20th anniversary of God of War? Yeah. Like, of the, at least, like, the, the PS2 games and the PSP games, because like, you can't play those natively on the PS5 at the moment. You can only play God of War 3, which is, like, the PS4, like, remaster, and God of War 2018 and God of War Ragnarok. So, it's very weird that they're not doing collection. Yeah, that's the problem, is that PS3 had all the collections, and they're not backwards compatible. You have to stream them, um, through the, through PlayStation Plus. You can't play them natively. And then we had, the trailer for Marvel's Wolverine, which finally showed up, again, after being announced in, what was it, 2021? When it was announced? It was announced a long time ago. Um, it was probably announced too early. Yeah, and then it got leaked. With the big Insomniac leak. But yeah, it definitely was announced too early, I think. Because could you imagine if like it wasn't leaked and like then we saw a trailer? That'd be pretty cool. Or if it wasn't announced. Um, they definitely announced it like too early. Um, yeah, Wolverine. I like Insomniac's games, so I'll probably play it. Um, but then they went on. They've been doing this a lot because they did this at the last State of Play too. After like their big reveal, they do like a very long, like, series of interviews. Like this whole like series of interviews here. This is this is like 5 minutes as part of the State of Play. Um, so I'm not sure why they do this. I mean, it's nothing against like the yeah, it could have been a separate video. It's nothing against like the people who worked on the game or the people that are, proud of their work and everything. It's just that everybody like, trying to copy Nintendo for like doing directs and stuff. And we definitely saw it with Gamescom, with like how Gamescom felt like such a slow show. Um, at least with the directs, things are very snappy and like we see things like very fast and like, we're on to the next thing. pretty quickly. They do sometimes repeat themselves, like, after they see a trailer, but it's never like this, like, this much. This is a lot. Um, on top of that, the state of play could have just been an email. Yeah, they could have probably like just dropped the trailer for Wolverine and been like, okay, there we go, and also the release date for Saros, which yeah, but yeah, I'm still excited to play Wolverine. Yeah, fall next year. But anyway, um, now let's move on to the last thing. I think you know what the last thing is gonna be, because it is very, very big news right now.
My
Um,
mom!
no,
My mom!
it is Xbox. No, it's not Pikmin. It's Xbox. Xbox has been like, man, just circling the drain right now.
Hey,
Um,
Stinky!
so the first thing that happened, I don't even know if this was the first thing. But they announced that Xbox consoles. This literally happened yesterday too for the increase. Um, the Xbox consoles have increased in the U.S. Um, the Series S is at $400 now. It's originally, 300. The the base Series X, the physical edition, is $650. So either you can get an Xbox Series X or that Pokemon Lego set we talked about earlier in the stream. um, but yeah, it's most likely because of tariffs. The thing is, like, the first increase was most likely because of tariffs. Um, this increase might be partially because of it, but also because, like, they are just like, I don't know what's happening with, like, everything they're doing. Um, but like, yeah, everything's going up, and their most expensive model, the 2 terabyte Galaxy Edition, that's going to be $800. And it's so funny because, like, yeah, GameStop and Costco and Sam's Club, I've seen it at Sam's Club too. They are marking down Xbox consoles because they do not want them. They're like, get rid of these things. The the Series S has been marked down to $179 at like Sam's Club. I've seen like the photos of the prices. They're marking them down because they do not want them anymore. Before this price increase happens. Um, $179 for the Series S. That's nearly half off its original price. Um, but yeah, and then they said, "Oh yeah, yeah, this happened earlier this week. Oh yeah, now we're going to increase the price of Game Pass. Game Pass is now Game Pass Ultimate, that is. Game Pass is now $30 a month. That is $360 a year. At that point, just buy a few games. Because that is not worth it. That is totally not worth it. Especially if you don't play that many games in the first place. And usually the only time that I would subscribe to Game Pass, and this was like a few years ago, the only time I would subscribe to Game Pass would be like, oh yeah, if it's like a game I see on there but I don't want to pay like full price for it. Or I got a deal, like, for getting Game Pass with something else. But yeah. And you know what's funny about this too? This is kind of backfiring with, like, GameStop listing Game Pass codes for, like, the original price or cheaper. So it's like, oh, well, let's try to get some like cheaper Game Pass cards before they're all out. Though that would help them a little bit, but there are so many people like canceling Game Pass now that the website crashed. It's probably worth it. It's all you play and nothing else, but it's borderline. Yeah, like for like $360 a year, you could buy, like, depending on the price, like 6 to 9 games a year. Um, like, wait, I did this calculation before. Like, $360, like, divided by, let's say you divide by 70 for, like, you know, a $70 game. Uh, you could buy, like, 5. Like, at least 5 games a year. Or even more, depending on, like, you know, sales and stuff. Um, Adore my VTuber model is so cute. Oh, thank you. But yeah, so many people, like, canceling Game Pass that the website crashed, which is very funny. Um, but yeah, even PlayStation Plus, yeah, PlayStation Plus, like, yeah, how much is PlayStation Plus Premium? It's like 120 a year, right? That's like a third of the price. Yeah, how much? Because I just have like the essential for PlayStation Plus. Okay, no, it's not 120. It's 160. That's right. They raised it. I forgot they raised it. They raised it a couple years ago. But yeah, it's 160 per year for PlayStation Premium, PlayStation Plus Premium. Um, but surprisingly, still a better deal than Game Pass right now. Um, which is so shocking that I would say like, oh yeah, PlayStation Plus Premium right now is a good deal. Yeah, and then like Nintendo Switch Online, the most expensive version of that, for like an individual, is $50 a year, and you get all these retro games. If you're into retro gaming, like NSO is going to be your best bet because like it has all the retro stuff on there. And like some of the like free updates, like with you know, the free update to the Breath of the Wild and Tears of the Kingdom. Um, but yeah, I saw this post here saying like Microsoft is either delusional or just doesn't care anymore, man. Xbox does not have the motion to justify this. Um, it's really weird. It feels like they want to exit the console market, but I can't tell. Like, are they just being like forced by like what the government is doing right now with like tariffs and like all that stuff, or are they just being like we don't want to be part of this anymore, and or maybe they're just really that out of touch? I don't know. But yeah,
What the fuck is this piece of shit?
yeah, exactly. So this is the other thing. This I actually added this before all of this price stuff like went up again.
What the fuck is this piece of shit?
So this was announced earlier this year. Oh my god, again. I was half expecting Game
What
Pass on
the
Switch too.
fuck
Oh my
is
god.
This piece of shit.
So, the Xbox the ROG Xbox, I keep wanting to call it the Xbox ROG Ally, but no, it's the ROG Ally, the ROG Xbox Ally, and the ROG Xbox Ally X.
That is one big pile of shit.
The the prices of them came out. These prices came out before all this price increase stuff happened. With like Game Pass. So the price of the ROG Xbox Ally, and these come out in a couple weeks too. We're gonna see how this goes, because like the ROG Ally has been around for a while. This is the first time they've actually had like a direct like you know collaborator with like a console manufacturer. Um, so the ROG Xbox Ally, that is $600, more expensive than a Switch or a Switch 2 or a Steam Deck. Already at the base model. A ROG Xbox Ally X is $1,000. It's definitely more powerful, but at that point, like, it is technically cheaper than some of the other, like, handheld PCs that are out there, but the handheld PC market is very, very niche. Except for the Steam Deck has done, like, the best out of all of them, and still the Steam Deck is nowhere near what, like, you know, the Switch has done. Like, the Steam Deck sold, what, like 3 million or something? But it's definitely gonna sell more. It seems like Valve wants to try to make another one at some point, and they have, like, the OLED model as well. But even, like, the OLED model is, like, cheaper than this, for the Steam Deck. Um, it's especially, like, the Ally X version. Um, but yeah, and the Steam Deck is on sale right now for, like, under $400. Um, so if you want a handheld PC, just get a Steam Deck. Waiting until there's a Steam Deck with a full 1080p screen. Is the OLED one not 1080p? Yeah, Steam Deck is still kind of niche because, like I said, it out of the years that it's been around, it's still only sold 3 million, or like 3 to 4 million or something like that. So it's still pretty niche compared to like console sales. Um, it's not going to be like that much in the mainstream until we actually start seeing it like on retail store shelves. Like until we like go into a Walmart or a Target and we see, oh, there's a Steam Deck. Um, I think that's when it will really start to take off. Is if we start to see it in like retail stores or like on Best Buy. Because right now the only way to get Steam Decks is either get them refurbished from like third party stores like GameStop. So the GameStop does sell them refurbished, and I think Best Buy does too. But the only way to get a new one right now is to get them directly from Valve themselves on their store. You can actually buy one on Amazon? Oh, cool. Is it from a third party though, or is it from Valve themselves? That's the question I'm asking. Because like if it's because usually when you see like something sold by Nintendo on Amazon, it'll be say like, oh, it's from like the official seller from like Amazon, and it's officially from the Nintendo like I guess store, um like an official listing from Nintendo that is. Um, but yeah, that's the last thing I wanted to talk about tonight with Xbox. But because holy shit, I was not like an adult when the Dreamcast went down the drain. I was a teenager. Well, I was like barely a teenager. I don't think I was like yeah, I don't think I was even 13 yet. Um, but when the Dreamcast went down the drain, I remember seeing like sales for Dreamcast where like, oh yeah, Dreamcast $50. um, and all the games were like on like fire sale. Um, we might be seeing that like within the next year, I think, for Xbox. I don't know what they're going to do because like, man, with these price increases, like, what the hell's gonna happen? But anyway, yeah, that's the last thing I want to talk about. Thank you so much for listening to me ramble about video game news and stuff. We are going to be doing some stuff after stream or after this podcast during stream. So if you're not watching the stream and you're watching this on YouTube, please come visit me on Twitch and hang out. Because I do like to stream all the time during the week. Um, but thank you so much for watching the podcast. Everybody say bye, YouTube, and then we'll do some other stuff. So bye bye, YouTube.